Hey, what's up, TruExperience Nation? It's your boy Richard McCaney. If you're new around here, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our mission and our goal, our objective is really simple. It's to help you learn how to experience your best life. Guys, we're about wealth, health, and experiences. We are continuing on in the book Atomic Habits. So I kind of read a chapter and I go over and I drop some little nuggets. And so we're going to discuss the downside of good habits, okay? This whole time we've been building up and it's like, yo, I hit you with a curveball. Let's set up good habits, good habits, good habits. And now there's a downside. We got to worry about something. This chapter really spoke to me personally because it's exactly, literally where I'm at currently in my life. And funny thing was I came to this realization a few days ago before reading this chapter, and as I'm reading, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This helps me out a ton. And so what's the bad side of habits? First of all, habits are the foundation to mastery, okay? Like if you want to master something, habits is the foundation of that. So like in chess, you've got to learn the basic moves. Like once the basic moves become automatic, it then allows you to go to the next level of the game. Learn more advanced techniques. Take you to that next level because you master the basics. See, when you master something and it becomes automatic and you can do it kind of without thinking, well, that opens up the mental space to concentrate on a more effortful, workflow. Okay. What up, Mash? Thanks for the share, girl. Appreciate that. Oh, my nose is itchy. Y'all just have to forgive me. Okay, I'm done. All right, apologize. But y'all get what I'm saying. When you create a habit and it becomes automatic, frees up space, allows you to take the next level. Well, if you want to be a basketball player, well, before you can go and dunk a basketball, pretty good idea to learn how to dribble the basketball first. Okay, before people's out there, dribbling between the legs, behind the back, ball faking and all that, then you learn how to dribble basically first. When that becomes automatic and they can do it without thinking, and it's just a part of them, well, now they can free up mind to do the next thing. You feel me? Wonderful. What's the problem with that? Sounds great to me. Well, here's the problem. As things become automatic, your feedback to that, you become less sensitive to that. Okay, and so once you get good enough, you stop thinking about how you can get better. Okay, so once you kind of learn how to dribble and it becomes a habit, your feedback to you doing it wrong, you don't think about it anymore. You kind of moved on to the next thing. And so you can end up slipping in your skills. So you got to constantly be cautious of that because if you're getting less feedback, you're not thinking about how to do it better. And once you can do it good enough, you don't think about it. Now, for most of your routines, like brushing your teeth good enough, tying your shoes good enough is usually good enough. But when you're really trying to do something that's, a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, you need to constantly be able to refine that to keep from slipping. Studies show that once you get into a habit and you start seeing progress, there's always a slight decline after the fact because you get complacent. Do not get to the point where you start getting complacent in your habits. You have to have a system for review and for reflection. So you can sit back and look and decide on what it is that you are doing better. You cannot constantly do things blindly and expect to be exceptional. Got to constantly improve. And while habits may be the foundation for mastery, it's not sufficient. You need that deliberate practice to constantly hone your skills. And so for mastery, it is habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery. And review and reflection is a way to do that. So you got to have a time and you got to have a system for that. Here's what I like about this. See, I'm going on like my third, what I consider to be a power habit. First, it was getting up and doing what we call a miracle morning, which is me, reading and journaling and meditating and exercising and a whole list of things. I've done a whole series over the miracle morning. It's awesome. You need to check it out. That was my first deal. Well, then I stacked another habit on it, which was, working my business and reaching out to people. So did that every single day. Now I kind of double stacked another one on top of that because my miracle morning, I just had to retread. I had done it before, but my third habit was going live. And so my 66 full complete day will be October 1st. Here's what's interesting. Because my miracle morning got good enough, I noticed that it started to slide a little bit. It started to slip. There's ways that I can improve it. There's ways I can bring it back up to snuff and make it better. The same thing can happen with me reaching out for my business and making calls and stuff like that. It got to where it was automatic and I just felt like it was good enough. Well, now I need to go back and figure out how to tweak it, how to improve it, how to do more, how to really get down to the fun part I consider and really master it. See, it doesn't do any good to do a habit if it's ineffective. So you want to be able to learn how to do things right and then figure out how to do things right and then continue doing it that way. And I mean right, not good enough, but good, but great, right. And so I'm right at this point where I'm like, all right, I've slipped a little bit. I've still showed up. I've still put the reps in, but I can improve. And so now is my time for reflect. I personally, and you figure out what's best for you. He does one annually. You do it every 6 months. You can do it at the end of each month. I do mine at the end of 66 days because based off another book I've read, that's kind of the sweet spot for creating a habit, right? It's not 21 days. It's not 30 days. The sweet spot is 66 depending on the difficulty of what it is. So for me, I do 66 days of consistency. At the end of that, I stop and I look back and I reflect. Okay, did I see improvement? Did I see progress? Are there things I can change? Is it time to level it up? Do I need to now reach out to more people? All of these type of things, like how can I improve my live videos? Can I get better at a consistent time instead of just doing them? All these little things where now it's time to make these tiny adjustments. And normally I would just jump right into something else. And as I keep going, the further I get away from the miracle morning, the further I get away from reaching out to people, they start to wane. They start to dip. Guys, this is why it's important. When you reflect, it's like looking in a mirror. It's like reflecting your image back to you. But when you do it over the course of 66 days or 6 months or whatever, you're not beating yourself up about every single little bitty thing. Man, go look in a mirror. Like, get right up in a mirror close. Like, up in it. That's you looking at yourself really closely every single day. You see every little pore, every little blackhead, every little blemish. But you forget about the whole picture when you get too close. When you reflect properly and you step back and you've got a lot of data, like, okay, 66 days, this is what happened. You get to see the full picture of what you have done. That's powerful. That's good. See, used to, I'd be like, well, I failed, or I messed up, or man, I wasn't consistent, or man, I think I missed a live that one time, and I went late, and I was kind of rushed, or I could have done a better job. All of those things, but now I can sit back and say, okay, how can I improve this? What did I like? What did I dislike? Where do I want to go? And that's very important. So my next power habit, which will be starting October 1st, actually probably start a little bit before then, will be to fine tune my 3 power habits I've already created. And so now it's like going over for another layer, which for me is going to be getting back to getting up early. Because when I get up at 5, I am another person. When I get up at 5, things get done to the highest ability from me. And so now that I've got all this in place, I can go back and fine tune that. I like that. So when I'm reaching out about business, It used to be because I wanted to grow my business. Well, as I kept going, I realized it wasn't about growing my business in 66 days. It was about me becoming the type of person who had the skills, who could grow my business whenever. So now I've got, water off a duck's back, right? Like I know how to handle objections. I love getting no's. Like that doesn't bother me. I know how to talk to people. I have a newfound energy, and all that's recently come in just the past few weeks at the end of my 66 days. Now it's time to go back and ramp it up to a whole new level. Better documentation, better note keeping, better records, all that kind of stuff now that I can improve just because of this. Here's another thing that comes with you got to be aware of when you're creating this new habit. New habits equals new behavior equals new identity. Again, we said you can change who you are, you can change your identity because every habit that you do casts a vote for the person you want to become. Well, now that you have this new habit, you can tend to be prideful. New habit, new behavior, new identity, new pride. And see, when you get prideful about I'm this type of person now, you can become a little blind to your shortcomings, your weaknesses. They can be in blind spots, and it keeps you from improving. See, when you become too rigid on a singular identity, you're too brittle. You need to be a little bit more flexible because if the circumstances change, you'll go through an identity crisis. Think about a soldier. When somebody's identity is tied up in, I'm a soldier, I am a soldier, I am a soldier, and then all of a sudden they're not a soldier anymore, that's a difficult transition. When I'm a CEO and now all of a sudden you're retired or you're fired and now you're not a CEO anymore, but that was your identity, now your identity is be taken away and you're like, whoa, how do I function? I have an identity crisis. And so in the book, he's talking about instead of I am a great soldier, that transforms into I am the type of person who is disciplined, reliable, and great on a team. Y'all see the difference? Soldier based on circumstances, very rigid. The other, when you transform into reliable, great on a team, discipline and things like that, those are adaptable in any area of life. And so we have to be careful about how we're identifying ourselves, that you can't rely on any one singular thing, because when you do, it makes you less adaptable to situations. So that's that. A lack of self-awareness. I put this little quote in here. A lack of self-awareness is poison. Reflection is the antidote. So I like this lesson. It spoke directly to me. And guys, we're about mastery. You want to experience your best life? We need to master the smaller things in life. Again, we want to constantly see progress, but you don't want to see progress and then start to see a dip. That's how you get back in that rut, and it's hard to find your way back. So set up a time to reflect and review the things that you've done and find out how can you improve that. Go back and improve, bring it back up to snuff, tighten everything up, make it rock solid, and then when you do that, guess what? Boom, unlocks the next level of mastery. That's what's exciting. You want to master a new habit? You want to work a new habit, master it, and then once it masters, then it unlocks you the ability to go to the next level, repeat the process, and do it again. You're just setting up these dominoes, and they start to knock each other over, so that in the course of a year, between now and the end of the year, think about you being able to pick up another solid power habit between now and New Year's. If you started today, if you started October 1st, you could solidify a really strong power habit between now and New Year's. If you got a New Year's resolution of you want to get in shape and be healthy, you better not wait till New Year's. Start working on it right now. So when New Year's comes along, you might even be at goal, or you can improve on your habit and really solidify that you're the type of person who eats healthy or who works out or whatever. And so what's done today shows up tomorrow. What's done this week shows up next week. What's done this month shows up next month. Y'all follow me? what you do in the end of this quarter is going to be how you show up at the beginning of next quarter. So do not delay, act today. Start to improve your life. Let me know what y'all thought about this one. I really like this. Have you ever sat back and reflect on things that you've done and gone back and tried to improve, or have you just kind of let it fall to the wayside and keep going forward like I've always done in the past? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. These are going to more than likely be recorded soon. There's a lot of, as I've been thinking about it, there've been a lot of really added benefits for me to be able to record these. And so one of them will be a consistency on time. So it won't be all over the place. Like they should start to go up at around the same time every single day. And maybe a little prettier, maybe a tiny bit of editing, maybe, we'll see. But I don't know, I'm excited about that. So that's what I'm gonna be focused on for the duration of this year, is improving the things that I've already been doing. We're gonna bring them up and I'm excited about that. So guys, thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and until tomorrow, I'm out.